What if the reason people don't respect you is not because you are weak, but because you are too available? What if all the kindness you give is slowly making you invisible? And what if becoming a little cold is not losing yourself, but finally finding your power? The truth is harsh, but real. The world does not respect the person who gives themselves away too easily. Since childhood, you were taught that being warm, kind, and always available is a good thing. You were told that if you stay open and loving, people will return that love to you. But if you look at your real life, something feels off. The more available you became, the more people took you for granted. The more you tried to explain yourself, the less people understood you. Slowly, a question started growing inside you. Is being nice costing you your power? When your peace depends on how others treat you, you are not truly free. Real strength is not loud or aggressive. It is quiet, controlled, and calm. It does not beg for attention. It does not chase approval. It simply exists with confidence. And once you understand this, everything in your life starts to change. Here is something most people don't say openly. Your value changes when your availability changes. This is not about being good or bad. It is simply how human nature works. When something is always available, people stop noticing it. Not because they are bad people, but because the human mind adapts. When you are always there, always saying yes, always reachable, you slowly become background noise. Like music playing in a store. People don't hate it, they just stop hearing it. Many of us were trained to believe that constant kindness earns love. Be nice, be understanding, be the bigger person, always be there. But kindness without boundaries does not create love. It creates expectation. And expectation is where disrespect quietly begins. You start to feel it when people assume your kindness is something they deserve. You feel it when your efforts are only noticed when you stop giving them. This is where coldness begins. Not in cruelty, but in awareness. It begins when you realize you have been giving too much and valuing yourself too little. True balance is not about ignoring others, but also not losing yourself for them. You should give from strength, not from fear of losing people. Being emotionally strong means you stop measuring your worth based on how people respond to you. And once you see this clearly, you notice something deeper. A lot of your behavior was never pure kindness. It was fear in disguise. Fear of being rejected, fear of being misunderstood, fear of being left behind. So you replied quickly, explained too much, and softened your opinions just to keep peace. But real power comes when you detach from outcomes. You still care about people, but you don't break when they pull away. You still give, but you don't beg. You do your work, but you don't depend on applause. This kind of detachment removes fear, and when fear disappears, your presence changes. You become calmer, slower, and more confident. You walk into a room without needing approval. You hold eye contact without needing reassurance. You say no without writing long explanations. And this simple, calm behavior carries more power than any argument ever could. At some point, you realize something uncomfortable. Your habit of giving too much was coming from a deeper place inside you, a part of you that fears being unwanted, a part that believes love must be earned by constant effort. But when you become aware of this pattern, everything changes. You stop blaming others and start improving yourself. And that is real power. Not controlling others, but understanding yourself. When this awareness grows, your communication also changes. You stop over-explaining. You stop arguing to prove your worth. You say what is needed, and then you stay silent. Your words become fewer, but stronger. Your presence becomes quieter, but heavier. At first, people may think you have changed, but what they are really noticing is your stability. You are no longer controlled by every emotion. You are anchored. Your life is now guided by principles, not impulses. And something beautiful happens over time. Your kindness becomes a choice, not a habit driven by fear. When you smile, it feels real. When you help, it feels meaningful. When you give your time, it feels like a gift, not an obligation. Being cold in the right way does not mean losing your heart. It means protecting it. It means understanding that respect grows where self-control exists. You become less reactive, less desperate, and less dependent on others' approval. And in that space, you discover something surprising. You are not becoming cold, you are becoming clear. And that clarity is powerful. It is quiet, steady, and unforgettable. It is the kind of presence that people feel even after you leave the room. Most people don't realize this, but a lot of their reactions are not based on reality. They are based on imagination. You assume rejection before it even happens. You assume someone is attacking you before they actually are. And because of this, you react too quickly. But when you pause, even for a moment, you interrupt that false story in your mind. You give yourself time to see things clearly. And many times, that fear disappears on its own. Over time, this pause becomes natural. You stop trying to win every conversation. You stop trying to fix every misunderstanding. You let some things go without replying. You allow a little tension to exist without rushing to remove it. And this simple restraint builds a quiet authority inside you. People start to feel that you are not easily shaken. And when people feel that, they automatically treat you differently. When you stop reacting just to gain approval, you also accept something important. Not everyone will agree with you. Not everyone will understand you, and that is okay. You don't need to correct every opinion or prove yourself to everyone. This acceptance removes pressure from your life. You stop performing. You stop trying to be the nice one all the time. You just focus on being centered and real. As your reactions slow down, your confidence becomes deeper. Not loud confidence, not fake confidence, but real, silent confidence. You start to notice that fewer words are enough. A calm tone becomes stronger than a loud voice. A steady look says more than a long explanation. You don't need to prove yourself anymore. You also stop chasing the perfect reply. You stop needing to win every moment. You become comfortable with silence. And something interesting happens. When you stay silent, other people start talking more. They reveal more. Not because you are controlling them, but because most people are uncomfortable with silence, and your calm presence acts like a mirror. Their emotions become more visible next to your stillness. This is real power. Not controlling others, but controlling yourself. You feel emotions, but you don't let them control your actions. You listen, but you decide your response carefully. You are no longer reacting automatically. You are choosing consciously. Now let's go deeper. Being cold is not just a behavior. If you fake it, people will feel it. Real strength comes from detachment, not from people, but from outcomes. The desperate mind always says, I need this, I need them, I need this to work. And the moment you feel like you need something, you lose your balance. Your energy becomes weak. Your confidence drops. You start accepting less than you deserve. But when you shift from, I need this, to, I would like this, but I don't depend on it, everything changes. You become stronger. You become calmer. You stop negotiating against yourself. You stop lowering your standards just to keep something. And people can feel this difference immediately. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop begging. You stop tying your identity to results. If someone doesn't reply, you don't panic. If something doesn't work out, you don't see it as your failure. You feel disappointment, but you stay stable. This creates a strange kind of freedom. You speak more clearly because you are not afraid of losing the conversation. You act more strongly because you are not afraid of losing the opportunity. You love more honestly because you are not trying to control the outcome. And slowly, you stop shaping yourself to fit others. You stop bending for approval. You stop shrinking to be accepted. You just remain yourself. And this steadiness makes you more attractive, not less, because people are naturally drawn to someone who is complete within themselves. Now comes an important part: boundaries. Being cold in the right way means you stop giving everyone unlimited access to you. You don't explain your no again and again. You don't apologize for your limits. You simply say what is true and let it stand. That doesn't work for me. I'm not available. No. Simple words, no drama, no extra explanation. At first, this feels uncomfortable. You may feel guilty. You may feel like explaining more. But that feeling comes from old habits. The habit of trying to keep everyone happy. The habit of avoiding conflict. But real respect does not come from always saying yes. It comes from being clear and consistent. Boundaries are not loud. They are quiet actions. If someone drains you, you reduce contact. If someone disrespects you, you step back. If someone pressures you, you take your time. You don't argue, you just act. And these actions teach people how to treat you. Over time, something natural happens. The right people stay, the wrong people leave. And that is not a loss. That is alignment. Your life becomes calmer. Your energy becomes lighter. You stop feeling drained all the time. But here is something very important. Being cold does not mean becoming empty. If you remove all warmth, you don't become strong. You become bitter. The goal is balance. Your kindness should not disappear. It should become selective. When your warmth is a choice, it becomes valuable. When you give your time to the right people, it feels meaningful. When you help someone who respects you, it feels strong, not desperate. Your energy changes. Your relationships improve. You can still be kind. You can still care. But you don't allow people to misuse your kindness. You don't chase people who treat you like an option. And when you stop chasing, you start seeing clearly who truly values you and who only valued your availability. This awareness protects you. It filters your life. It removes unnecessary drama. And it replaces it with calm, steady strength. In the end, being cold is not about pushing people away. It is about choosing who deserves your energy. It is about protecting your peace. It is about standing firm without apology. True strength is not about shutting your heart. It is about holding it steady, knowing when to open it, when to protect it, and when to walk away. When you master this balance, you stop getting pulled in every direction. You become centered, calm, unshakable. And a person who is truly centered cannot be controlled by the world anymore.